G'day, welcome back to the channel and thank you for joining me for a channel update and some comment replies. So I actually did reply to a bunch of these, but I don't know, YouTube sometimes plays funny buggers, you know, up to shenanigans. But yep, we're gonna answer some comments. Before I do that, just want to give you an update about, excuse me, got a bit of a cold. So before I go on into the comments, I just wanted to give an update about the goggle situation. I'm still using the HD3s. Gonna wait for the HD0s to come out. Don't really feel like it's worth investing twice the money into buying 2 pairs of goggles. I could just wait and fly the analog stuff. So that's what I've been doing. And as you can see, I've been focusing from the recent videos, I've been focusing on the ground stuff. For video content, and I hope you've been enjoying that. And if you want to see more of the 3D printed design stuff, you know, I really enjoy doing that. It's very time consuming to design it, and especially to design to someone else's thing. When you're just doing original design, it's a bit more, you know, you sort of come up with it, but when you've got to fit to someone else's chassis and whatnot, it's a bit more nuanced, and when you've got tight tolerances, then, you know, it gets tough. But I kind of enjoy the challenge and love playing with the finished product and sharing it. Anyway, if I've got any other comments, I'll add them at the end. But for now, let's get into the comments that I apparently haven't replied to. So let's get into it. I'm going to start from the most recent ones first. So yeah, Malukas Abaru. Sorry if I get that wrong, mate. Probably get a few of these wrong. Liftoff works on Mac M1 Pro 14-inch? Question mark. I'm going to assume that's a question mark because of all the questions. I mean, it's a question because of all the question marks. As far as I know, no. I've had a similar question before. It wasn't for the M1, I don't think. I'm pretty sure from memory. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. If you want to update that, because I haven't actually checked for a couple of months on that, then yeah, maybe hit up the discussions, and I think there is a couple of threads on that where you can make a comment and see if there's been any updates. It would be cool because, you know, there's a lot of Mac users out there that want to play a bit of, you know, Uncrash, but so sorry about that, mate. Abex, thank you so much. I had some dust on the inside of the lens casing and managed to open up and clean it. Now it looks good as new again. That's awesome. I swear I replied to both of these, but yeah, sorry. That's about the Runcam Teardown, Runcam 5 Orange Teardown. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I love the feedback that comes from that video. Thank you very much. It's really cool. That was one of my earlier videos that I made, and it taught me a lot about making videos, and I've had a lot of good constructive criticism and good feedback about it, so awesome, man, thank you. So on Will It Do the Job, our line 4S Lithium Ion packs on 5S doing freestyle. It's from Nathan with some 4s. Hey, great video. I'm currently building a quad for lithium ion packs myself. Can't wait to try it out. Might I offer some constructive criticism for you? Absolutely. Your video thumbnails are a bit cluttered with info. Yeah, that one was actually not my worst, but yeah, I can see that. If you can see up here. Try to put a minimum amount of info, a minimum amount of text in order to catch a viewer's eye. Anyway, keep it up. Videos like these are very helpful to the hobby community as a whole. Thank you very much, and yes, I am trying that. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to convey what I want, but I am learning from the example set by other more successful YouTubers. But like I said, this video was a little bit ago, and I think you can see a progression across my thumbnails as time has gone on, at least hopefully. If you can't, please let me know. Always open to have the criticism though, and I actually, here's an example. I'm not on a network here. On the Tango 2 Pro TBS owner's review, Jody Camper. I think what you're referring to as on the weird sound was possibly the inactivity alarm it has. I love this radio as a beginner. I'm a beginner, and this has been great for using simulators and soon be used on my GEP RC Simulog 35 6S. Can't wait. That's it's a decent little it's quite a noisy drone. It's a decent little drone for a beginner though, and it's a good idea. It's a great radio for beginners. I'd recommend it because it goes straight into the simulators and it goes straight on flying. But the noise isn't the inactivity alarm. It's odd. It's like the noise you make that it makes when you roll the dial switch. But it's like that's being triggered really, really quickly. It happens randomly, but generally, oddly enough, when the device is sort of hanging from the strap, just down here, sort of thing. It's not really touching anything. It hangs flat. I don't know. It happens rarely. Actually, hadn't happened for a long time, and then just the other day it happened. But only for a little second, and it's not really been a problem. Like, it's just odd. I thought, it had gone, with an update. Anyway, right, what video are we at? So back to the Runcam 5 Orange Teardown from Project Caribou, like caribou. That video helped me figure out how to disassemble the Runcam and clean it after it stayed 1 whole week at the bottom of a lake. Thanks, my Runcam worked great again now. Yes, that's awesome. I'm amazed. I swear I can remember replying to this specifically because I was just like, holy crap, that's amazing. I think that's probably the coolest thing that's come out of that video, for sure. Like, easy. Right, so back on the same video. Mr. Brown. Good work getting it apart. This let me see what I needed to see, namely removing the battery. Removing the battery is possible, but not easy. Yeah, because there's 2 of them. I spent the first bit, though, saying you've got fingernails. Unplug the connectors, and spent the next bit laughing at you, marveling at the bog standard cell phone connectors. Like I said, this was an early teardown for me. I don't recall coming across those connectors first. I've never pulled apart a cell phone. I've watched plenty of disassemblies of cell phones, but I've tried to reuse or sell on my old cell phones. So I've never just sort of ripped one of them apart. And I've been pretty good. Like, I've still got the smash screen one that because I'm pretty protective about them. I use it as a GoPro secondary screen on the workbench. No, that's I'm glad you found that amusing. That's cool. On Max Life 360 off-road RC. This is when my names are pretty shit. Max Life 360 off-road RC 4x4 360 VR mud crawling track. Oh, far out, Mike. What was that? Really cool. Thank you, G-Troy. Love it. Runcam 5 orange again. Runcam new lens mod from Starland. Honestly, not sure what that meant, big fella. Possibly, you could. The only thing you'd have to work out, if I recall, was that the basically MIPI connector, the connection sequence on the MIPI connector on the connector, and then I suppose you could run another camera in it. I don't think that would be impossible for sure, but yeah. Anyway, Sharp Bite, mid-flight, blackouts, and firmware versions. So, Alex Quintana, mid-flight blackouts sound like a power wire is pinched. I appreciate the suggestion. However, I had tested this as one of my first things. And one should always start with the most basic, what could be the problem. I've had actually that problem. My Earsheen bug-looking one. I can't remember what it's called right now. I had that on that with one of the second VTX on it, and I had to ditch that. Yeah, I mean, I checked that first up. There is a video actually diagnosing and going into that. Primarily, this was the two problems with this quad, with this Gecko, were that I was getting these blackouts, and that was down to firmware versioning. I had, if I recall correctly, you can always hop back and check out the video. I had older firmware on the goggles than on the transmitter, and on the receiver than the transmitter, and that's what caused the issue. That particular combination in this specific case. And you can find the details for that in the video in the description. The other problem I had with that was interference. And there's a video for that on solving that. Is actually the third of the build series of that quad. I went out and bought an oscilloscope, my second actually, but a good one. And I tested it. I ran to check the traces on the ground lines to the video transmitter whilst powering the quad, arming, blah, 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 blah. And you can see all that in that video. And what I discovered was that you need to slap an EMI shield underneath or between any like motor wires that are going to run close to the TX5 .1M, which I don't think you can actually get anymore, so it's kind of irrelevant. But if you're having interference problems, get yourself an EM shield and slap it on under there, between that and any power wires or any motor wires that are going by that TX. In fact, any TX that you're having interference issues, just try this. And that fixed that. And the video actually sort of dives into that. You can see the traces and the differences and whatnot. So I'm sorry it took so long to actually get around to answering you there, Alex. But yeah, I'd if you want to check that out, yeah, that's cool. GMI visuals, brackets Jason. Same video, Shark Bite mid-flight blackouts. Blackouts simply fixed by updating to latest firmware. Yes, but which version on which item? It wasn't that simple, and yes, that's. I'm happy that you made the effort to comment. Thank you very much. Servo continuous rotation modification video. Now there's another wordy title. Simon Bauer. I did it with a cheap cheap Tower Pro servo, the cheap plastic geared blue ones. Though I took the entire control board out and removed the stops on the pot and the stops on the top gear. If I would do this, with letting the control board in place, oh, okay. So I think what you did was actually like ran a different motor controller on it, right? That's pretty cool. I like that. I haven't explored that actually. Think about that. If I were to do this with letting the control board remain in place, I would honestly just use resistor method, as it's way less fiddly to just solder two resistors in place. Yeah, somewhat. It depends on like how hard it is to just get to them and put them in the right place, and you still got to pull it apart. But yeah, it's still a very viable option. And it is probably like the Bonza option. I think you've still got to check though for that servo stop pin that you can get on that like sort of main output pair of gears. But yeah, thank you very much for the comment, and that's really cool. And here we go. We're getting to the end of it. So. MJ Enterprise, you are so funny. I hope you become a big YouTuber one day on Zero Caliber VR, the new content update. Thank you very much. I honestly, there was a lot of bots around at the time, and I honestly am not sure if you were a person or a bot at the time, so I did just leave it. And then 1 year later, you're like, I'm still here. So awesome. Thank you very much for commenting. Rock on, and check out my gaming channel, Max Gaming and VR. The link will be in the description below. And you can see my other VR gaming content there, and non-VR gaming content. In fact, I've got a series on Tales of Glory, which is a medieval combat simulator called Owen the Bruiser. Well, actually it's called The Adventures of Owen the Bruiser. And that is my second series. The first series I did with Vox Meccane, and sort of role played that too. I've also got all the Battletop Space Engineers combat tournaments there, and the After Hours. So yeah, check them out. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, and that brings me to the end. So I guess here is the point where I wrap up. It's been nice responding to these comments in this way. Actually, I kind of really do feel like I'm able to sort of connect a bit more, which is really cool. I like that. Please do, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Comments, love them. Please keep making them. Rock on, be well, and I'll catch you next time.